I have with me Brandon, Brandon Maxwell. And so I met Brandon Maxwell not too long ago, actually on a Florida solar market development meeting. So we have the same mentor in solar through this company called Power. And everybody always spells the name wrong. It's Powur. It's not spelled wrong. People always want to put the E in there. But I met Brandon. I saw that he was out there hustling. And so I wanted to get him on the podcast. He's not necessarily from this direct area, but you are in. Remind me where you are.
I'm in Ocala right now.
Ocala.
Yeah.
And do you know how far that is away from where I am? 2-3 hours.
I want to say probably about 3 because I was born and raised in St. Augustine, and I'm 2 hours from there. I'm two
Okay.
hours from there. I'm on like closer to Gainesville right now.
Okay. So for me, St. Aug is about a half hour. So probably right at like 2.5 ish, maybe. So, but yeah, I wanted to get you on here and really just kind of get your perspective on solar and stuff. But before we do that, I just want to kind of get more of an idea of who you are. Who is Brandon Maxwell, the person that I've been trying to get on the live stream for weeks? Who is this person? Tell me about yourself.
Um, Man, I I like the word hustler. I'm just always trying to learn, trying to gain knowledge. I'm like a sponge, just trying to perfect my craft. I always wanted to be a salesman. I feel like communicate pretty easily to me. Build. I was I come from the serving industry, fine dining, quick turn and burn. I always had great customer service, and that's just something I always loved helping people. So once I found this solar industry, it is an absolutely three-way win. It's a win for the salesperson, a win for the homeowner, and a win for the environment. So can't go wrong with there.
That's beautiful. There's a lot of solar pros out there. And obviously, I can't name any names or companies, but their thinking is a lot different than that. And I feel like for you, you're coming against that every day because you're out there on the front lines when you go and you're knocking doors. Tell me a little bit about how those interactions go. Just give me kind of an overview, like both positive and negative, and stuff that you have to overcome when you're out talking to people.
Um, the misconception about solar, just that it's expensive, that it is there's been a I don't know, is it lack of knowledge from the salesperson or the higher ups purposely trying to mislead homeowners? I'm not sure where it started at, but there was a misconception that everything was very expensive, that you couldn't move after a while because for different reasons that it put liens on your house. There was a miscommunication. I'm not sure, was it purposely or just because of lack of knowledge. So trying to overcome that, show that I'm there to help them. Also, even though it does help me, I don't lie about that part. It is good, but everyone needs a job, right? So I just really communicate that, show the facts about solar, show that it will help them. And my favorite thing about it is it hedges against inflation. That's why I really try to preach. Only
Yeah,
the power can hedge against inflation.
no, I love that. Yeah, so just like the roofing industry, I compare the solar industry to the roofing industry. Both are, well, you could say solar isn't essential yet, but a roof on a home, that's essential. But there's been some people, bad actors, you might say, in the industry that has given roofing like a bad name. And I feel the same is true in solar. There are people that have misled or companies that have misled. And so now coming out as honest people, honest individuals, we have certain things to overcome. For you, what helps to break down people's walls? Those people that have had like a negative perspective. Can you tell me like a story where that happened and kind of how you overcame that? Was just a general conversation or was it something else?
Um, just a general conversation, just showing that I'm human too. Even though most times I don't think I really heard. I haven't heard a story where it actually happened to that homeowner. It's always I've heard a friend or my uncle
Oh
or type story. So
yeah.
I kind of just tell them that every industry has a bad that you have a bad happening everywhere. I mean, except for Chick-fil-A, they're perfect at Chick-fil-A. But
That's
anywhere else,
Jesus' chicken, darn it.
of course. But anywhere else, Walmart, I've had a bad experience. Doesn't mean I hate all grocery stores. I've had when I had my oil change at certain places and certain bad things happen. Maybe they spill stuff on it. Try to add more to my bill than needed. But it doesn't mean every mechanic is a horrible person. Just let them know stories that I experienced that too, and they kind of break down and they're like, that is true. That is true. I can't let one rotten apple ruin the whole bunch, as they say.
Yeah. Yeah, you sound a lot like me. So I consider myself more of an educator than like a fast salesperson. Like I've worked with people for months before they actually pull the trigger, and maybe that's good, maybe that's bad. But at the same time, I want people to feel super confident in what they're doing because this is my perspective. There's some companies that are like hard sell, and you might sit in that person's house until you get the paperwork. But the problem is they may not want their friends to go through that. And so does it lead to a referral? I'm not sure, you know. And so this is all, in my estimation, is a personality sort of situation. There's so many people that do solar, there's so many people that do real estate, and to be unique and different. What has like caused you to want to differentiate yourself from the, you know, plethora of solar professionals? There's 400, at least 400 solar companies just in Florida. So how do you and I stand out?
Just like you said, I want to be a friend, friendly face in the neighborhood. I don't just brush past a renter when I see them. I still go through, explain what I'm doing out here, because hopefully they're a homeowner soon, right? Because that's
Yeah.
the goal for most people. Maybe they have a friend that owns a house. I just want to be a friendly face, inform people because maybe there's a way they can save on their monthly bills, or they become, like you said, they give out a referral for me. You never know. So I just try to make sure everybody is somebody. I just want everyone to feel like that. I want to be like, oh, you're a renter. All right, I gotta go because that's rude. Why would I want to make somebody feel like that? I'm just walking down the road. Imagine that's like getting smacked in the face, like walking down the road. Hey, you're a homeowner? No, okay, bye. Like what?
You're a
Like,
renter.
yeah,
Get away.
That's disrespectful, right?
Yeah. No, I take the same perspective as that. So I haven't done this in a while, but I used to do events. And I would always do them with someone else, a friend or whatever at the company I was with. So this was a previous company. But I told my friend, I said, everybody that comes up to this table has value because maybe they don't own a home, but they potentially know somebody that we could help, that we can assist. And they could possibly create that connection so that we could kind of get in contact with that person. And rental property is actually still good for solar. You know, like there was a house not too far from here. It's definitely a rental. It has solar panels on it. And one of the reasons for that is because the homeowner who is renting it out, they can increase the rent on that system and the system can pay for itself, but they're making more money in the interim. So everybody can have solar. So what is your vision? Like, what do you see? Like, I'm really idealistic when it comes to solar. I think it should be everywhere. It should be in trees. It should be on dogs. It should be just not on dogs, but I feel like it can be everywhere.
Portable
What's your vision?
chargers. Matter of
Yeah.
fact, oh man, I actually have a solar keyboard. Actually, man, a lot. I do. I actually have a solar powered keyboard. So
Yeah.
I feel it's great. I feel like why pollute the earth? Why? And it's very inefficient. I can't quote the math on it, but I feel like we lose over 20%, well over 20% getting it here. I think it's well over 20% getting it here
Sure.
is an inefficient method of powering the world, an
Yeah.
expensive method, outdated. So I feel we definitely need to move past it
Yeah.
for sure. Solar is great to me. I don't see
Yeah.
any downside. Even the people say they don't want holes in the roof. I laugh all the time. I see all this new construction. I just always hear them nailing down the shingles. You know, those holes in the roof are necessary, and I feel like solar power is becoming necessary now. Well, not only because there shouldn't be a monopoly with the power companies,
Yeah.
but we should definitely save money where we can. Keep you inflation proof. You own your house, you definitely should own your power. Everyone.
You know what's interesting? I just learned this that GAF and Owens Corning, they actually have now with their roofs, and this isn't standard, but they can put this on the roof. If they're putting on a new roof, there's a membrane now that they can put underneath the shingles, and it's specifically for like sucking in on those nails, sucking in on solar if you put it on the house. So it just makes it where that the like leaks that people are afraid of,
Mm-hmm.
it pretty much takes care of that. I mean, we have a fantastic roof penetration warranty, is what it's called. But just to see that there are roofing companies that are integrating that into their products, I think that's really cool. Has you heard anything about those?
Is it like nanotech or oh man, feel like it's some Avenger type stuff, Marvel stuff. Isn't it?
No, it's just a freaking membrane. I learned this from a roofer last week, and like GAF Owens Corning, they're some of the biggest manufacturers of roofing, and there's just oh, one thing to kind of step back is GAF, maybe Owens Corning, they both have solar offerings too. They're very expensive, but you got to think that some of that technology that they're bringing online is going to benefit them as well with their solar offerings. So, like GAF, for instance, they have it's not quite a solar shingle, but it's meant to kind of blend in with a solar shingle. In my estimation, is trying to compete with like Tesla solar roof, which is
Okay.
highly overpriced in my opinion. But there's
And
no competition.
it's also not as effective as a panel. The square the kilowatt per square foot you would get
Yeah,
the what is it, the
the
power per
production
square
there.
foot, yeah, is not
Yeah,
as
yeah,
it's not as high as panel would be.
sure. Yeah, and then most people who get into solar, they get into solar to save money. And Tesla the solar roof right now, it's just there's not a lot of competition, as I said, kind of in that space. And so unless you just have a lot of disposable income to throw at the house, it's not a viable option for most people.
For
Like,
sure. I don't know too much about it. I do not know too much about it. I just knew
dude,
that.
it's like double. So like our proposals and stuff, it's like double. And then there's a huge waiting period for it. I don't know if this is still the case, but when I last looked at it, last heard about it, it was like a 6 month waiting period just to
I
get your, to be on the list, kind of like a Tesla car. Might be on the waiting list for a while, but they have that market share, so to speak. And I think it's the same for the Tesla roof. If somebody really wants a Tesla roof, you can get it, but you got to wait for it.
right.
Yeah.
But before I was looking at the roof, I was trying to see that membrane. I think it's called like a SPS. They sprayed on there. If I was going back to that membrane, I did see that. That
Okay.
was very, very cool.
Yeah.
I think
I
that
don't know.
will change a lot of. Go ahead.
No, I just said I don't know a lot about it. I just heard about it like a couple weeks ago. So, but it's a spray, you say?
Excuse me. Yes, from the one I saw, yeah. And
Okay.
they can get it as a treatment. Is that the one you were looking at? They can even
Yeah, I didn't look at it specifically, but I was talking to a roofer and he was talking about this membrane. So I don't know exactly which one he was talking about, but I know that is an offering.
I
So,
definitely want to go back and look that up a little bit.
mhm.
Find out a little more about that because also with insurance, I believe most insurance are requiring you to get your roof redone at every 10 years now. Have you heard something like
About
that?
10, 15-ish. Depends on what type of roof it is. So one of the good things about a metal roof is there's warranties for 40, 50 years. And now if a person needs a new roof in the first place, when we go out and talk to people, maybe they want a metal roof and then you put solar on that metal roof, which there's no roof penetration, just clamps. And now you don't ever, you probably in that person's lifetime, you don't have to worry about re-roofing, and removing the solar or anything, which is pretty cool. Yeah.
Very, very much so.
I mean, I want metal roofs to come down though in price, come down even further, to compete more with shingles, you know. Especially you got to think here in Florida where so many people are having these roof claims, you know. If like the roofing industry were to bring down the cost of metal roofs, yeah, I mean you can get dings and stuff in them, but I don't know. It's just they seem like a better option than shingles that pill up and stuff like that. But I'm no roofer, so
Me,
yeah.
I from what I know or what I think I know, I should say,
Sure.
about roofs, I feel like it's a no brainer. So I would personally go for it. What is the price difference from what if you
I
know?
don't know. I don't know. I've heard a couple mixed things. I've heard it's getting to be comparable, but it's still more expensive, obviously, with metal. So we'll just have to see. We'll have
I'm
to
gonna
see when with time. I mean, everything's coming down in price eventually as the competition increases.
I
But
think it was about double the price or maybe like a third of the price. It was at that rate, I feel like it's pretty comparable considering you don't have to like you said, you won't really have to change the roof, especially if you
yeah,
get the time of solar, you clamp it on there. That's excellent.
yeah, I feel like it would be a great option for somebody who was going through insurance to get their whole roof done. Well, they just pay the difference, and then not have to worry about re-roofing for a very long time. That would be a cool option.
Sorry about that, brother.
No, you're good. One thing that I'm really looking forward to is that battery technology changing a little bit.
Hey, brother, my fault. I have something in the oven really, really quick. Let me.
What are you burning? All right. So one thing that I like to try and forecast is really what's going to happen with battery technology. So battery technology, in my opinion, is one component of solar that's kind of lagging. So the panels are really good, the inverters are really good. The battery technology, it's somewhat limited because you still have the lithium and stuff in there. It is not as plentiful as like the other solar components. So one thing that I always get excited about to talk to people about is the saltwater sulfur battery that I haven't heard any additional progress on it, but I haven't been following it too closely. But if and when that does come online, it becomes a viable option for people in their cars. I think it's going to change the whole game as it relates to solar. I mean, if everyone can have batteries, what is that going to do to utility companies? But it just, I don't know. I'm really looking forward to that day, though. The batteries are so much cheaper. Mhm. So, batteries. So, solar itself, though, Brandon was talking about this earlier. People have misconceptions of how expensive solar is. But the thing is, over the last 10 years, solar prices have decreased about almost 50%. And so really what you have is you have people that have outdated information, and that outdated information is based off of prices from years ago. So back in the day, the only people that were really going solar were rich people who cared about the environment. People weren't going into solar by going into, I mean, getting solar on their house because they wanted to save money. It wasn't a viable option for that. But nowadays, I would say 9 out of 10 people, maybe more, are actually looking to go solar to save money. And there's a very interesting thing because sometimes people like to make it political, but it's not political. It's neither a left thing or a right thing. You know, you could have people on either side care about the environment. And you can have people on either side care about saving money. But at the end of the day, really, when a person wants to help the environment or save money, they get to have both. And that's the beauty of solar. And so while you were checking on what you were burning in the oven, I was telling the people, what are you cooking, by the way?
Some brownies, man. Some milk chocolate brownies.
Some brownies.
Yeah, I'm a little fat kid. I'm not gonna lie.
But you've been out walking all day. You're good.
True.
Do you have like a Fitbit or anything?
No, not at the moment. No.
Dude,
Man,
you need one because you can compete with your friends and you'll always win. Because
that's a good for the W column. I have one and I actually never want to go. That's a funny story. I told you I wait tables, and when I would work doubles, I was walking excess of 12 miles a day.
Oh, wow.
I would be under about 4 miles at 7 o'clock. The rush would come. We would close at 11. I would get over 12 miles at 8 miles in that short time. On a quick.
Nice. See, actually, for me, my watch can do it, but it's actually connected to my phone as well. So if I'm walking and just have my phone, it's tracking my steps as well. So you can do it from your phone too. So
right. I found it's not as accurate though.
It's not?
Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting.
Probably.
Interesting.
I don't know. Maybe the stride point or something.
Yeah, maybe. How much did you walk today, if you had to guess?
Oh man, like
how many hours were you out?
I'm not good. How many hours did I altogether? I did 6 hours a day.
6 hours?
Yeah.
Dude.
Yeah.
Salute to you, sir.
Oh man, I gotta get way better, man. I gotta get so. And then again, I'm not hitting every door. I'm still trying to get past that point. So it's a lot more walking than doors. I will say that.
Hey, nothing wrong with that, but man, I love that. I love that you're out there grinding and hustling because you believe in the vision and you believe in actually changing the environment, but actually changing people's lives. Because when you can go to somebody, so let's throw out a number. They have an average bill of $200, and they say, "Oh, it's manageable," but that $200 isn't gonna stay there forever. But you can show them how over the course of time they'll save tens of thousands of dollars. How does that make you feel?
I feel real good because most of the times people don't believe it and they're very skeptical. Like I said, they already think it's a scam or whatever because of a story that they heard. But when you sit down and you really compare it apples to apples, this because they're gonna make a choice no matter what. Either they're choosing to stay with this electric company or they're gonna choose to down and help their life potentially change their lives. Because I look at it, I tell them it's like adding another income to your job. It doesn't matter if you're saving money or if you're adding or if you're making more money. And the end of the day is more money in your bank account in the household. Especially when it's a bill that you're never gonna get rid of. You have to pay it. What is perpetuity till death do you part, right?
That's true.
You know, and you didn't even have a choice.
Yeah, unless you want to sit in the dark.
Right.
You know. There's people that actually believe they can just cut back and cut back and cut back. But the problem with that is yeah, you can do that, and obviously we encourage that to be more energy efficient. But at the same time, you can only cut back so far. And when I say cut back, I mean like, okay, get spray foam insulation or get new windows, new doors to kind of keep from losing the heat or the cool air within the house. But just to live in miserable conditions,
That's why
like to have the AC at 80 because you are worried about that that bill, like
that's sad. The change. I see that people who change the quality of of their life.
mm-hmm.
Then that's why I'm so excited to show them solar, because you can change the quality of your life for the better. To really relax and be, and it's a great thing. It's a great thing. Taking
Yeah,
somebody out, getting rid of a bill they thought they were going to absolutely have forever. You
yeah,
know, and next to your mortgage is the second highest bill. People don't realize that, and it's only going
interesting.
to get
Yeah,
higher. It's only going to get higher.
yeah. And I don't know anything like this, but do you know anything where day one is cheaper than what you were paying? It's going to pay for itself and it's going to save a person tens of thousands of dollars. Like they're going to pay for it either way.
Exactly.
But
Nothing.
this
It's
way, yeah,
instant return on your investment.
yeah,
That's amazing. That is
yeah,
truly amazing. There's not, like you said, there's nothing. I don't know anything else. Anything else. You start a
yeah,
business, you're gonna have that time before you recoup the money you spent in that. Stocks, anything you put it in. You say you're gonna flip a car, whatever you do, whatever you put your money into, it's gonna take time before you can get a return on that investment. But
mm-hmm,
solar, they're able to, if they qualify, they're able to sign the document. We have the site survey, the panels on the roof. And by the time they start producing and there's a payment made, like you said, that payment is going to be less than what they were paying before. In most cases,
yeah,
unless they get a roof, a battery pack, become self sufficient, and then
yeah,
still grid tied. You know, they still have to be grid tied, but
yeah.
but
Yeah, that's one question people ask me all the time. Like, hey, will you help me go off grid? I'm like, no. I mean, we can get you enough batteries, and that's something that you and the utility company can figure out. But we don't help people.
yeah, I believe it's like only like less than a 1%. I don't know, actually. Don't let me not quote a number. What I've heard is very hard, and it's still not fun. And once they finally let you off, because you know you still have that connection fee. They're still making some money from
Yeah,
it. They
yeah, yeah,
That's the main part of their grid, because it's their equipment.
yeah. That's true.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
and
just heard
it's yeah. Go ahead.
Duke is going up quite a bit. I think FPL is only like 9.55 or less than $10, but Duke's connection
Hmm.
fee is like almost 40.
Ooh,
Yeah.
now Duke is a good place for people to go solar, if I remember correctly, because Duke is like isn't it like 22 cents a kilowatt hour or something like that?
Brother, actually,
I think Duke is where what David is working with out there.
I'm
He and
just I just spoke with him because I'm out here right now.
mhm.
I just got a bill in. Um, you're not gonna be able to see this, but
In Duke.
yes, I can't see what it is. I guess I can tell you 1 second. This last
Yeah,
month,
because
a person used 1,285 kilowatts.
that's not crazy.
No. Bill.
That's not too crazy.
Nice.
Yeah, I know FPL. They're around 12 cents kilowatt hour. Their connection fee or their base charge is only about $9.48. So not terrible, but they still with FPL customers they still charge a minimum of 1,800 kilowatt hours per year, regardless of if the person uses them or not.
Oh
So
wow, I was unaware of that. Wow.
yeah, so the bill actually ends up coming out to around $30 a month. So yeah,
Yeah, I can't.
I'm pretty sure it was Duke though. I'm 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 like 99% sure Duke is one of the highest utilities out there. And
This,
so for
yeah,
Duke
you're
people,
right.
it's
You're right.
easy,
Oh,
easy value sell.
this one is how much you say? Did you think it
I
was?
think it's like 20 something 20 something cents per kilowatt hour. Like 22, I think.
Yeah, this one. That's where this one is at exactly.
Dude, that's crazy. And
Yeah,
then solar, we're talking like 7 cents, 5 7s, I don't know, somewhere in there. That's insane that anyone would want to stay with the utility company. You just point out the simple math.
that's what I would think. Regardless, and then even when people, I mean, the roof, it actually adds protection to the roof for multiple reasons. One being that the sun isn't going to be beating on it, so that you have that. The panel is anchored into the beam, so it actually adds structure. It reinforces that there's been hurricanes and tornadoes in different places, and where the panels are, that's the only part of the roof that is still there. But there is accidents that happen. I guess different things, but with that warranty, the 25-year warranty, and all the money that you would save, even if you, when it is time to get a roof, which you have to do anyways, 10-15 years, like with this new whatever the insurance passing, the money you save, you can get a new roof and still save money.
Yeah,
But
absolutely.
it, like I feel that it is a true no-brainer also.
Yeah, no,
See,
I agree.
everybody still has their choice though, and I don't think people.
They
I try.
do.
I try not. I try not to make them their choice. I try not to make them feel dumb or quote unquote dumb or whatnot. But I
Yeah.
feel like I don't know. I feel like it's a horrible choice. Even my own father. I don't talk to him too much about it because he didn't want it on one of his houses. He's gonna get on another one. But I just see everybody's their own person though. But I just don't understand it.
No, I understand. I understand completely because I have family that's just like that. And it's easy sometimes for you to see it and then they eventually come around. But it's just this sometimes they just think you're crazy. They're like, "Oh, you're involved in something new. You're crazy." But now, just look at this. Look at the numbers, and then go from there. Or a lot of people are just waiting for somebody else to get it first.
The
Like I
bandwagon
feel,
that is very real.
yeah, like I feel the most important part of what we do is we're actually changing the culture as it is. Like when cell phones first came out, there were people like us to show consumers that it was a viable option. I use viable a lot today, but now we're in that same position because since electricity, people have gotten it from the utility company. And now we're telling them they can be their own powerhouse, essentially, and create their own electricity. And people, it sounds too good to be true for some people, or they find the objection, oh, what about my roof or this? Well, there's things we can do to overcome those things. But at the end of the day, a person's going to say whatever they want to say to themselves so that they don't want to move forward because they're scared. And that's really what it comes down to. And we're supposed to help them kind of get over those fears.
Very true. Very true. Kind of hold their hand and guide them if they.
That's true. That's true. Because, yeah, it is scary sometimes doing something new. But at the end of the day, it's worth it. Definitely worth it. So, solar for you. I'm going to end with this question. What do you see it in the next 5 years? What are you seeing? If you had to guess, what you want to see?
Mm, 5 years. 5 years. I feel it's gonna be definitely like California. With what they started 2020, how every new build has to have a certain amount of panels on it, a certain percentage of the house needs to be powered.
Okay.
something like that. I definitely
Yeah.
see that happening. Yeah, I want to see, and that we're gonna be more better electric vehicles. So it's gonna be. I want to say lots of houses are gonna have it for sure. Um, more solar farms, chargers, solar EV stations. I know
Yeah.
there's gonna be a lot of those. A lot of those. I wouldn't mind trying to get in from that for sure. That's what I would like to learn how to do that actually.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be cool. For me, what I see in the next 5 years, I see the utilities here locally looking more like California in the sense of net metering 3.0. So in California, there was different net metering provisions and such, you might say. So some utility companies here in Florida are 1-to-1 net metering or 2-to-1. Some are pretty much nothing. But eventually it'll get to that point where it's not 1-to-1 and more people are going to have batteries. But I'm just hoping that that battery technology I was talking about earlier, that's going to be online, and so it won't really matter. The cost will be negligible. So, yeah,
But then the utility companies they'll produce power through solar power, and then they'll still charge it to the customers at a very very high rate. Because I
that's
feel
true.
that they're losing out. I know they're losing out on so much money, and they weren't ready for that. Just like homeowners weren't really ready to switch over to solar power, the utilities companies are not really ready to lose all those people. That's why they have the mandatory connection fee, and that's why they're raising it. And then, like you said, they're gonna go to like a NEM 3, whereas every 4 kilowatt hours we send, they're gonna give us one back. Then right now, I think they're actually going to a time of usage. So depending on
Yeah,
the
yeah,
time of day you use your electricity is way higher. So
yeah,
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 I didn't think about it on that end. That's gonna be
yeah.
very we're
Those,
definitely going to need to get that complete solar system, the battery, so they can store some of their system. Get
mm-hmm.
the yeah, for sure.
Like those peak
That's
hours.
sad. Yeah, that's sad. Very very sad. People need to go ahead
Yeah,
and definitely got to go ahead and own your power and get a complete system with the battery.
yeah. I can see more like washing machines and stuff like that being on timers when it goes to peak hours for electricity, where a person can just have their clothes in there and stuff like that, and it'll start at a certain time of night. Like I could see that happening.
Automated washer and dryer or washers.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
for sure. I could definitely
Yeah, I
see
can see
that.
that. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But that's
So I'm
another
like,
thing.
go ahead.
Sorry, that's another thing. Solar powered hot water panels.
Mm-hmm.
That's another thing for sure, because especially here in Florida, we use a lot of hot water. We shower a lot, whatever. So we definitely need to figure out a smarter way to power our I mean heat the water, because that's something we like, just it makes sense cooking, whatever you need, and we take full advantage of the sun down here. We need
Yeah,
to.
yeah, absolutely. And
Solar.
yeah, absolutely. There's a lot of opportunity for solar systems to go up here in Florida. The sunlight is plentiful. So, but yeah,
There's
any closing thoughts you want to end this with? And you're gonna go have those brownies, and you made them, and you're not sharing with anybody, but you've been out walking for 6 hours, so you'll probably eat the whole pan, right?
Maybe not. I don't know, man. Probably have a nice big bowl of ice cream also, man. Probably with that.
What? Why you have
Yogurt, cookies and cream yogurt.
why you have to say that? Why did you have to say that? Like there's some of
We'll
us
get
that
out on the
aren't
doors
eating
together,
brownies.
brother. We'll get out on
You
the
said,
doors together and we'll make some brownies.
no, no. Well,
Man,
hey
but
man,
you actually inspired me though, for real,
yeah,
man.
yeah,
For those meetings, and you're always doing your workout still. You're going. I said, me too, man. Have me a little shirt. I get my shorts. I go on my walks in the morning. I went on had a nice walk. This morning. My sales book right now. Yeah, but that's why I was looking for the book. But I've been reading in the mornings, going on walks, find something
nice,
spiritual. My higher
nice.
power, connect. and you actually inspired me. So, man, thank you for that, and thank you for having me on tonight. I know it was a little hard, a little technical difficulties we were having for, again, like you said, it took forever, but
no, that was on me actually, dude. Like this is something that's new to me with doing these streams and stuff. And I thought you were muted on your end, but I had to get you on the stage and all that stuff.
Okay, I thought that's what it said, but I wasn't sure. I wasn't. Yeah,
no,
I'm doing this also. But yeah,
no,
man, I really appreciate it. I was nervous. I'm still a little nervous. Thank you, brother. Thank you.
No, you did good. So I appreciate you. And folks, if you're in the Ocala area or anywhere, all in Florida, we're in like 23 states. I sometimes go through and I count the different license Power has, but we're in a ton of states. And so
Puerto Rico right now helping out.
Absolutely. So Brandon's friends, make sure you reach out to him. You have family that's out of town, say they're in California, Texas, Ohio. We're in Washington, D.C. now. We're in Hawaii. We're in Puerto Rico. We're all over the place. You know, we're not limited to just Florida. And so if you have people in your life and they're suffering with high utility bills or they're suffering with just the high cost of living, we can help them in one area. And that one area will hopefully have an impact on their lives. And that one area, obviously, is their electric bill. So make sure you guys reach out to Brandon and let's change this world together. I appreciate you, Brandon, and I'll see you next time.
See you, brother. Thank you.